In this video, I'll be talking about CSS3 2D transforms. Okay, so mostly I'll be talking about the properties. We'll make use of the properties. Okay, so we have about 11 of them. 11 of those properties. We have translate, translate X, translate Y. Then we have rotate. We have scale. We have scale S, scale Y. Then we have skew X, skew Y. Then we have matrix. So I think there are about 11 in number. So we'll be talking about them in this tutorial, in this video. Okay, let's start by creating our simple HTML structure. Then inside our body, let's create using div will be more better because if I use div, I will use div, then give it a width, then give it background color. Okay, let me see whether that will make sense. I'll use one div to illustrate it. Then at the end of the video, I will create a div for each of those properties and then use a pseudo classes on them to see their effects. Okay, so going with div, let me give this div do I really need to give this div a class? Okay, let me just give it a class. Or since it's the only div that I'm using, let me do it this way. Let me say div, not div, class. You can use id if you want. If you want, you can use id. Let me give it a class name of, let's say, since what we're talking about is a 2D transform, let me just give it 2D. Let me say 2D. And just give it a class name is 2D. Okay. Now let's link our CSS external file. So because we'll be writing our CSS in external file, let's give it ID of let's link our external CSS. We'll link it by using a link. So if you don't know how to link your external CSS, you can watch the detailed video, the detailed video called CSS insert. One of my video called CSS insert. You can just search it in my YouTube, you see it there. So having done that, our CSS file is now linked. Okay, let me reduce this. So I'll make use of the I'll use the div. I'll call the div the div which is element selector. Then inside this div now, I will give it a background. I will first of all give it a width. Let me give it a width. What is happening to you? I've not given it any name. I'm supposed to that div here. Okay, then inside I will not say width. Yeah, width. I will give it let me say 250 pixel, 250 pixels. Then give it a height of this. Let me say 250 by 250 will be okay. Okay, let me see how it looks like. Then I will give it a background so we can see the size. You can see it in our browser. Just give it a background. It's a background color of let me use the color blue. Blue is very visible. Let me use blue. Let me refresh. It's supposed to appear by now. Yeah, so this is our blue color. Okay, so the next thing I'll be doing now will the next thing I will do is to use class. Okay, I'll use class to illustrate this thing and how each of them work. Okay, so I will call the class name. We use the class name of 2D. Let's scroll down so you can see that. You can see the class name is 2D. Okay, so we'll call the 2D dot 2D dot 2 what's happened to dot 2D dot, where is the caps lock, dot 2D. I think I'm having some error here. It's like the class name should not start with a number. It should not start with a number. Okay, no problem. Let me change the class name to, let me say let me use words. Let me say 2. Let me reduce, let me say 2D. Let me use it 2D. Let me say 2D. I think it will work now. Let me come back, say clean this one, then say 2D. We use lowercase. Okay, say 2D. Okay, so I will be giving it I will starting with the first CSS3 2D transform property. The first one is translate. Okay, so I will say transform. You transform you transform property, then you give it a value of translate. Okay, you give it a value of translate. Okay, all of it is just a property. Let me say transform, then inside this one I will say translate. So this translate value now, this translate value we accept, we'll give it a it accepts some parameters, some arguments, or you can say it's some parameters, which means you can add some values there, and the value you add in those um, what is it called, brackets, which is called parentheses, we have effect on the image. Okay, and if its effect is called a translate effect. Okay, let's add something like let me say 20 pixel, 20 pixel, then I'll put comma, I put comma and then say let me say 40 pixel. Let's see what happened to the image. You can see it moves it by the side. That is the effect of this translate. Okay, what if I remove this 40 and make it 80 pixel? You can see how it's moving the box around. How about the first one? Giving the first one a value of say 50 or 500. Oh, it's push it down. That's not what we want. We just want to make use of this screen. It's push it very down. Let me just say 50. You can see it's shifted by the right. Let's say 70. You can see what it's doing. It's shifting it, just the first, just moving it up and down, up and down. The div box is just moving it up and down. Okay, that is what this translate does. Okay, so the next one we're talking about is called translate x. So I have to do, I just have to put x here after the translate. I put x in the front. Let me use uppercase, put x. Okay, you can see it's now in x axis, kind of axis, something like that. So you can see now it's now in x axis. Then if I change the value now, let me put 50 here. How about 90? 900? No, no, not 900. Let me change this one to, let me see what will happen. Let me say something like let me say 50 pixels. Okay, this is in a, please note that this one thing I forget to say. In this when you put x, translate x, the value translate x, it will accept only one parameter, only one value. Okay, and that value will be whatever you add in the value will make the box, the div box, to move in the direction of x, not y. It can count down. This is y axis, this is y axis, and here is x axis. Okay, downwards is y axis, y right, which is this side, is the x axis. Okay, so let me do something. Let me say something like 10 pixel, lowercase pixel. You can see it's moving towards that x, which is that x axis by the right. Let me make it let me say something like let me say 60 pixels. You can see it's moving towards that side. Let me keep on putting value till it reach the end. Let me say something like 90 pixel. You can see it moves. How about 120? You can see. How about 130? You can see. How about 140? 160? 180? 190? Okay, how about I want this the box to reach the end. Let me say something like, let me say 220. I think 220 might push it to the edge. Okay, still needs some value. How about 250? Bam, at the edge. Is now at the edge. You can see that at the edge of, so you are translating it to the x-axis. You are moving it to the x-axis. That's what this translate x does. If it does not accept two parameter, only one value, and that value will move it, we adjust the content, or the box, which is in our case is the box. You can put text, you can also actually move the text, but in this our own, we are using box, kind of a div box. So it's moving the box to the right in the x-axis. So let's talk about y-axis. Let's clear this. Let's remove the x and the value of this x. Then let's change this x to y. So what we are talking about now is translate y now. Let's use block letter. Okay, so this one now will come down. It will be coming down. It will only move in the y axis, which is vertical. Y axis is horizontal. Okay, let me add some value here. Let me say something like 40. Let's see what happens. It's coming down. Let's use what we use. We use the maximum of 250. I think 250 before it reaches the end. So let's just use that instead of let's not waste our time. Let's just say 250 pixels. Yeah, you can see it's moving down in the in y axis. Okay, let me do it about 270. I think it will reach down now. Okay, 290. Okay, so it needs, I will keep on adding value to it, reach about 300, 390. Okay, you can see it's at the bottom now. So it's always moving the x in the y axis once you use translate y. Then what if I want to do if I want to bring it up? All I have to do, I've just reduce the value, it will come up. That's what I will do. If I just remove the value, it will come up. Okay, so that is it for the translate. We have covered what we have covered and translate itself, and then we talked about translate x. We talked about, and the translate x is always in horizontal, which is x axis. It will make the object to move in horizontal, which is the x axis. Then we talk about translate y, which is in vertical. The object will move uh, up and which is in vertical form. So the more you increase the value, it will drop down. If you reduce the value, it will go up within the y axis. Okay, so the next one we want to talk about is rotate. Okay, we'll talk about rotate value of transform. So let me leave this parameter empty because we still need the parameter. Let me remove this translate and replace it with rotate. So we have covered three now. Okay, remain 7. So the next one is rotate. Use lowercase. Rotate. This white space is not supposed to be this much big. Let me do it. Yeah, I think it's okay. Then let me remove this parameter. Then rotate. Yeah, it comes its own parameter. So inside this rotate, you can use you can only use degree, or you can try out that values. If it works for you, fine, but in rotate we mostly use degree because it's always in circle form. So we have about 360 degrees, so the values you'll be putting will be in degree. When you put a value, you put deg. The deg at the end will represent a degree. So let's say something like let's put mm, let's say 30 degree here, deg. Let's see what's happened to, you see how the image is rotating. Okay, how about this thing is, I want to this thing is coming towards the edge. I don't want this. It's coming towards the edge. It's not good. I don't really like it. I want to, how can I push this thing to center now so it will be centered? Let me do that. Let me use margin. Since it's this, let me use margin and push it and see. Margin left. Let me push it. Margin left. Let me make, if I do auto now. Okay, auto is not that. Let me use, if I view full screen now. No. This is left, so I have to add value. Unless I want to do margin auto. What if I do that margin auto? What will happen? Let me see. Okay, margin auto brings it to the center, which is actually good for us. Okay, then let me say margin let me say margin top, so that this place that is hiding will stop hiding, it will drop. Okay, let me say margin top, and if I use margin top, if I say auto now, we have any effect? Not really, so I have to add value. Let me say 30 pixel. It will drop now. Okay, let me add more value so it will drop, so it will be very visible. About 60 pixels. I'm not yet satisfied. Let me make it 80. How about 120? Perfect. I think it's now somehow centered. Okay, let me bring it down more. Let me say 150. Perfect. So I think we can manage it this way. So you can see the way it rotates. So back to our transform rotate. So let's make it let's say 50 degree. You can see it's rotating. So this is how rotate works. Okay, so you can actually do minus the degree, so it will turn the other way around, kind of anti-clockwise. This is a clockwise, then it will turn the opposite side. So to do that, you put minus that value, minus the value, let's say minus 50. It will rotate. So let me I want to illustrate this in such a way that it will make sense. Okay, let me create this value, here. If I create this value and I want to add color to the edges of the this our div here. I'll add colors to the edges, so when it rotates anti-clockwise and clockwise, you can easily notice it, because the way it's rotating, you think that nothing is happening, but something is actually happening. Let me add that property to the div element. So to do that, I'll say border left. Let me use border left. Here's left, here's left. Let me use border left. Let me give it a color. Let me say red. Let me use red. Then let me make it solid. Let me say solid. Solid. Then that solid, let me make it 1 em so it will be visible, or let me say 2 em so it will be very visible. 2 em solid. Okay, now it's not visible. I think it's too much. Let me make it 1.5 em. Okay, I think it's reduced now, it's manageable this way. Okay, what I will now do next, I will let me duplicate this and then change the border. I want to give each border different colors. Okay, so let me highlight this and then duplicate it up to have more 1 2 3 more 3. So I'll duplicate up to 3 places, 1 2 3. Okay, so what I will now do now, I'll change this one to top. I'll change this to top. I'll change this one to top. Okay, then I will change the color to this. Let me give it a color of let me say golden color. Let me give it a gold. Then let me give this one now. Let me give it let me say which color will be visible here now. Let me say I've used gold, I can't use yellow again. Let me say purple. Purple is good. Now let me change this to right. Okay, then this place I will change this one now to button. Have I used button before? I have not. So now we change it to button. I will now give it a color. Let me give the button green. Let me give the button green. Okay, so when I rotate this, you know when it's going clockwise or anti-clockwise. Okay, let me do that. Let me do what I did before. Let me say 45 degree here. Then remember to put your DG, which is degree. You can see it rotates now. You can see the way it rotates. Okay, then if you put minus 45 degree, now it will rotate the other way around. Take note where you see this red, where these colors are positioned, the way they are positioned. This one is this where red is positioned, where yellow is positioned, where purple, and where this green is positioned. So let's put minus and see the effect. You can see the effect now, it turns to the other side. Okay, you can see it turns to the other side. Okay, so that is how this degree work. The minus, which is anti-clock wise, kind of anti-clock. Then the other one is clockwise. Oh, okay. Okay, so I will think I'm done with this rotate. Okay, so the next one I will talking about is scale. Let me enter this. Let me delete it. So the next value we'll be talking about is a scale. Scale, it has its own parameter. So this scale now, let me write something like, let me give it two. Okay, so you can see the difference. The value, any value you add there, we to scale, it will add in it will increase the size in scales. Okay, let me make this, let me say something like say about one scale 1. Okay, how about scale 1.5? Okay, so what I'm observing now, what this thing means, kind of a scale, because one scale means, based on what I'm, one scale means a default, which is what it is. Okay, if you make it 0.5, which is 1.5, let it increase by each size, let it add half to each size, half of each size to each size. Then if you make it scale 2, it will be double your size, which is this one. Double your size, that's what this thing really means. Double your size. Then if you make it scale 3, let me say scale 3, let me say scale 3 here. You can see it keep on adding, it keep on widening each size. You can see that. You can see it's keep on widening each size. It keep on widening. It's beyond our screen this thing. Okay, so let's do this. So let's reduce this to, let's say 1.5, or let's say 1.2. Okay, so what this thing actually does, that it's kind of, it transforms the object based on the scale. It use scale to kind of, based on the value you add to the scale parameter, it uses it to transform the object the way we did it, the way it's doing it now. That is what it does. So the next one we're talking about is scale x scale, or scale x. Okay, or should I use first of all do scale y? No, either one. So let me just screen these values here. Okay, uh let's say something like let's give it a value of 2, of 3, and see what happens. You can see it will spread it towards the x axis, which is x is always horizontal. You can see that this is what it does. It spreads the object. It's kind of, it stretch it to the x, as in kind of to the x. It stretches from the center toward, as in to the end point of the x axis. Okay, I think this time saying make a little bit sense. How about if we put scale x4 in the parameter? Let's see what happens. It keep on stretching it. If you, let me put something like a 60 and see what happens. It keep on stretching it. Okay, it's not beyond the screen edges. Okay, it keep on stretching it. Okay, so that is it for x-axis. It stretch the object from the center. It stretch it towards plus x, and then stretch it towards minus x. So that is the best explanation I can give for this. Then the next one is scale. Let me remove this parameter. The next one is scale y. By now you could have known what y will do to the objects. Okay, let's use block letter. So it will stretch it from up here to down, which is in vertical, which is y-axis. Okay, it will stretch it from the center towards the what's it called, towards y plus, then down to minus y axis, the same thing. So let's also add value here. Let's say 3. You can see what it does. It's just stretch it up and down. You can see up and down. That's what this scale does. Scale y does. Let's reduce the value to 2. You can see that it stretch it in vertical. It stretch it vertically. Okay, so this is what scale y does. Okay, I think that I'm done with scale y. I'm not saying anything here again. I think it's well understood. Need of emphasizing it more again. I think I'll move to the next one. So let me clear this parameter. So the next one we're talking about is called skewed. And skew, people that do statistics will know this thing well, because you have all these skews, curve, and all that in statistics, but that's not what we're talking about here. So in this skew, let's type our skew. Let me do this lowercase. Says our skew value. Then inside the parameter, it accepts it in degree. So let's say degree. DEG stands for degree. So DEG, let's put our text before it. Let's say 30 degree. That is, see what happened to the image. Let's give space again and add another one. Let's say another 30 degree here again. 30 DEG degree. Okay, no, I think I'm supposed to put comma in between them. Comma is supposed to be here. Okay, yeah, you see the effect. Okay, so if the two parameters, it accepts two parameters. So the two parameter, you can give it one parameter, it will still accept. Let me know whether if it will accept up to 3 parameters, but I'm not sure about it. Let me try out. How about 20? No, it accepts only two parameters, two arguments, which is two values. Let me use a common word, two values. Okay, so if you give it only one value, it will still have effect on the object. This kind of effect, let me remove this comma. You see the kind of effect it will have in the object. But if you want this one now, if you want it to turn rotate the other side, let me just put 0 here, 0 degree, and then put comma here, comma, and then say 30 degree, not dot but comma, 30 degree, DEG. Yeah, it rotate the other, yeah, I think it still rotate the same way. Let me see whether it's my eyes, whether it's from my eyes. It's supposed to give me the same. Let me see what happens. Okay, still the same thing. Just keep on adjusting it based on the degree you add to the skew parameter. Okay, so that's it for skew. Just depends on what you want to do. Just make sure any value you are adding to the parameter have degree extension to it, a degree, and then your values must be two. It must be two values separated with comma, and each value having degree attached to it. Okay, having said that, let's talk about skew x. So let's do skew x. By now you would have known what the x and y would do. Okay, let's just put it and see what happens. Let's put the parameter of you know, once, like when we talk about thing that translates, it will accept only value, only one parameter. It will accept only one parameter. So let's do that and see what will happen. It will translate, it will skew this thing in x axis, and it will be only in degree. So the value you adding will be the value you attach a degree a degree extension to it. So let's say something like 30 DEG. Let's see what happens. This thing is too bold. Let me use let me use lowercase DEG. You can see the way it's positioned. Okay, now let's make it 45. Let's say let me say 45 degree. You can see it keep on stretching it. Okay, let me reduce it so it can accommodate our screen. Let me say 25 degree. You can see the effect. So that is how this one works. So let's use y, let's use skew y, uh, uppercase qy. Okay, you can see the effect. You can see the effect. Let me make sure this thing is zero. Let me put x and see the difference. Let me say okay, then like this. Then how about y? How about y? Okay, you can see the way it rotates it to the y-axis. Okay, so you can actually use minus degree here. You can use minus degree to go anti-clockwise, kind of anti-clockwise, both in x and y. So let's put minus this degree and see what happens. You can see it rotates it. Okay, then how about minus say 45? You can see the way it rotating it, okay, to anti-clockwise direction. Likewise, same thing if you do the same thing in y axis. Let me see. Let me use uppercase or uppercase in x axis. You can see the effect. So this 45 is too much. Let me make it 25. 25. You can see the way it's rotated to the other direction. So that is it for um skewed x and y. Skew x and skew y value of transform. Okay, okay, so the next thing I want to talk about matrix. Okay, the matrix value of transform. Okay, let me clean all these things and then and then input matrix. then matrix. Then this matrix here, I think, yeah, it accepts about that should be 6 parameters or more or less. We'll do that and see. Okay, so let me add text inside my HTML inside the div, but I want to add text in this screen, so the text will be displayed in this screen. Okay, um let me say, let me type something like inside this div, not outside, inside this div. Let me give it a text of, say, okay, let me say something like hello everyone, uh, uh, everyone hello everyone. I think, is it okay now? Should I add more text? Okay, let me add welcome to our does it really make sense now? Hello everyone. Let me just type it for illustration purpose. Welcome to our onto our website. Let me use website. Welcome, hello everyone. Welcome to our, yeah, website. Okay, welcome to our website. Okay, let me just end it here. So I think I'm done with what I want to type. Let me then deal with it from the CSS angle. Okay, inside the CSS now, I'll go inside the div. Since I've added text, I'll give the text some what's it called, some properties and values. First of all, let me align it to center. If I align it to center, I'll increase its font size and then push it down to the center, so it will be in the center for easy illustration. So I will start by giving it a font size, so its size will increase. Let me use lowercase. Font size, let me give it 2em. Okay, I think it makes sense. It's a little bit big now. 2em seems to be too much. Let me make it 1.5em. It's good, but how about 1.7? I want it to look somehow. Yeah, I think this one give me what I want. Then let me give it color. So I'll use a color, maybe something like azure. And say color. Let me use the hexadecimal if that's really necessary. And just use 00FFF. Okay, this color makes sense. This color is don't mind this. This is a hexadecimal way of putting a particular color. It's just that I'm used to the color. If you know the name of the color, just you can just put the name straight away. Just use hexadecimal. But you can, in fact, let me use normal so that I will not bring more confusion here. So let me just say Azula. The name of the color is Azula. Here is aqua, not Azula, aqua. Here's the color. The color name is aqua, but that value that I add is called hexadecimal color. If you want to learn the hexadecimal, you can watch my video on. You can watch my CSS video on a video created called the CSS colors. You will see all those things here. Okay. Moving forward, I think I've added the value. Let me push it. Let me make it align to the center. Okay. Let me say test align center. Okay, is aligned in the center. Then let me push it down since it takes the same size with almost the div box. So let me push it downwards. Then I will now use padding because it's inside the border. Here is a border. It's inside the border. So we'll use padding. Let me move this. So we use the padding. Say padding, padding top. I think top will do the work. Padding top. Let me give it. Let me say 30 pixels. Let's see what happens. It push it down. Is it affecting my the size of my box? I'm not understanding why. If let me see 60. Why if affecting the size of the box? It's affecting the size of the box. Why? Why? Um, if I how about if I do it auto now? Let me see. Auto. Auto will not make sense. Let me say. How about if I widen the screen? Is it okay? It's just positioned. Um, this is not supposed to take us much time. Just want to make it to look a little bit okay, so that when explaining it will be a little bit easy for us to understand. But let me just use that margin top to this padding top to this, so that we can get what we want. So inside this padding now, let me leave it at 50 pixels and see what it looks like. it brings it down a little bit. I can even use, let me use my padding button. I think padding button will bring it closer to itself. Padding button, it even stretches it out. Let me see, 5 pixel. About 10 pixel. Now it keep on pushing it backwards. Let me leave this at 40 and move on. This thing should not take our time. We're not supposed to be doing all this. Okay, let's just leave it this way. Let's just assume that it's now positioned somewhere in the center. Let's not just waste our time trying to um, digress. Okay, having done this now, so I will now make use of this matrix. So this matrix, it uses a matrix formula. Those that knows matrix formula, just use it to maneuver the objects. Okay, to position the object in a matrix pattern. So let's just say add about 6 parameters here. 1, 2. Let me say 1. Let me say comma. How many we have added? About 3 now. Let's say 4 comma 3 comma. Let me say 2. No, let me just 2 or 3 3 then comma. Let me say 4. We have about, yeah. Okay, so what I'm observing about, let me put comma and put another thing here again. Okay, so based on what I did now, what I observe is that it takes only 6 parameters. Okay, it takes only 6 parameters. It takes only 6 parameters, which is, let me use the, it take accept only 6 values. Okay, 6 values or 6 arguments. Just know that it's values, just it accepts 6 values. You can put negative sign here. Let me remove, how many are there? Yeah, let me remove this last comma. Okay, you can see the effect. It rotates this object. You see the way it rotates, but it's not. Let me reduce it. Let me reduce this now. Let me reduce it. Let me say something like 1 2 say -1 here. Let me put -1 here, and then let me say something like inside this place. Let me make this one. Let me say 1. Let me make this one 1. Okay, it's still rotating. You can see as it's rotating, the text is also rotating. You can see the effect. You can see the effect on the text as well, and the box. Okay, let me make this one. Let me just say, let me put higher value here and see what the effect will be like. Let me say something like 60 here and see what the effect will be like. It's even worse, it's even more bigger. How about putting something like 50 at the last one? Let's keep on rotating it. How about this side? Let me make this one 80. It's even getting more bigger. About 80 80. How about 30? Put command then here, make this place 20, 30 30. Okay, you can see the effect. So that is what matrix value of transform does. So you can actually do whatever you want with all these things by, maybe you can say, adding, testing different values and see what they give you, and then just take your time, just do it. So next thing I want to do, I just want to do a final rehearse on what we do in what I have said so far. In doing that, what I will do, I will create another divs. I will create div. Each div will represent each value we have talked about, and then I will add pseudo classes to them, which is pseudo classes, then add translate transition duration, and then when I hover over each of them, it will display what it will manifest its property. Okay, I will do that. It's just that it will take me a little bit, but more a little bit time, but I will still do it because I really need to do it. Okay, so here now, let me what am I going to do now? I don't think I still need, do I still really need this color? Okay, let me leave this color for illustration purpose. So what I will now do inside this place now, do I really need to adjust anything here? Nothing at all. Let me just remove this. Let me remove this. So it will go back to default. Okay, so this text, instead of using this now, I think it will be a little bit useful, but all I have to do, I have to reduce the size so it will accommodate others. And let me reduce the size to, let's say, 50 by 50 pixel by 50 pixel. What does it look like? Seems to me it seems to be very small, and the test is coming outside it. The test is going outside. And I do not really need that test again. So what I wanna do, I'll do it 100. I'll do it 100 pixel. Let me see what it looks like. 100 by 100 and see what it gives me. 100 by 100 pixel. I think it looks a little bit okay. So what I will now do now, back to our HTML, I will clean this text inside the div so it will be empty inside the div. Okay, I think it's cleared now. Yeah, perfect. Okay, now what I will now do, I think I should give it a different ID name. Let me give it a name that is very simple and straightforward. Let me say um one one one. Okay, instead of doing this, okay, let me just do then translate x. Should I really put x? No problem. Let me add everything because I want, since I talked about it, I have to explain it in details. Okay, let me copy this. We said the values, we talked about 11 values, so we have to duplicate this up to 11 places and then add some things inside. So we duplicate it, shift and down arrow key, 1 2 3 okay, 5 6 7 8 9 10 11. Okay, it's now 11. You can see them, but I wonder why, if this thing is aligned. Let me, there's something that will collect. Let me just fill what I want to fill, and then I'll collect something, so all of them will be in matrix form. To just be like this, so it will not stretch down the way it's stretched down, because the values that all this border and stuff is affecting it. So inside this way, let me give them a different class names. Let me give this one 2, let me say this one 2, this one 3, then this one now, give this one 4, then give this one 5, then give this one 6, then give this one 7, then give this one 8, then give this one 9, 9, then give this one 10, say 10, then I'll give this last one 11, 11, 11. I think this is the correct spelling for 11. Okay, so if I'm not right, you correct me. Then the text that will be showing inside this inside the div will be the name of the things we talked about. So I'll give it a name. The first one we did is translate. Translate. Okay, translate. Okay, translate. And let me also put, do I really need to put its parameters? Not necessarily. I'm just like to read the name. Then let me say, let me also copy this so it will be more faster. Control C inside this place, Control V X, then inside this place now V X. Okay, then the next one we talked about is rotate. Use lowercase to write it. Rotate, that's the spelling. Then the next one we talk about is, we talked about scale, I think, if I'm not forgetting, scale. And then the next one we talk about is scale. Let me copy it because we talk about scale x and y. Okay, Control V, not this, sorry, it's supposed to be Control C. Scale, talked about scale. Let me copy it, Control C, then inside this place, Control V, X, no, use uppercase X. Okay, then inside this place now we'll give it a scale. I will also paste it and then give it Y. Okay, the next thing I talked about is skew. I talked about skew. Let me use lowercase. Skew. This is a skew. Okay. Oh, this thing is trying to become an attribute. It's supposed to write it inside you, not inside the. Okay, this one is called skew. Then the next is skew x and y, and the final one is okay. Let me just copy this. Control C, then Control V, then give it X. Okay, then the next one Control V, then Y. Then the last one we talked about is matrix. So I'll type that one, matrix, in lowercase. So matrix, matrix. Okay, so I think I'm done now. If I scroll down now, you see the names in each one. You see each one. This one is uh translates. This one is translates. This one is you can see the output. Just the next one is translate X. Oh, I made mistake. Supposed to, this one's supposed to be translate Y, not X. Translate Y. Okay, this one is translate Y. Then this one is rotate. Ah, see my spelling. No, oh my, this is rotate, not A, not rotate. It's rotate. Okay, not block letter lowercase. Rotates. Okay, the next one is scale. Okay, the next one is scale X and scale Y. The next one is Q. The next one is QSQY, and then matrix. Not M. There's L. Okay, so it's not fixed. Okay, so I want to make this thing to be in form of. Let me remove some things here. So I think I'm done with HTML. What I want to do in HTML. Okay, then inside our CSS, let me know what I mean. So these things will fit in somehow. Then yeah, because I'm the one that even cause it, I give paddings, they separate among each other. So inside this place now, test align, let me remove this. Test align does not have any problem, let it be. Then padding, let me remove this padding and see the effect. Supposed to come up. This test align, test center, then margin, let me remove this margin. This margin. Okay, what else do I need to? Then I even add margin top and bottom self. Let me remove the margin. Okay, yeah, this is what I want. So they will all come up, but I'll still put small space in between them. I think it will make more sense. Okay, but this one I think is okay now. Okay, what else now? Let me widen the screen. Okay. Okay, it's too close. I will really need to space it, but a little bit, just small spacing, so there will be difference between them. So I will space them by giving them, and let me say, I will still need to add. Let me add that. Say margin, margin top, margin top. Let me give it. Let me say 5 pixels. I'm saying even say 2 pixels. 2 pixels. Let me see whether. The space is there, but it's too small. Let me make it 5 pixels. I think it makes about 7. Okay, I think it makes sense now. So by putting this pixel now, what I will now do again, I want to give it this. I want to give this my browser background color, so that each one, it will not look as if they are all joined. Let me give the background a unique this thing, a unique background, so that when the thing is displaying, as you are looking at it, you know that there's a space, there's actual space in between them. So let me call body. Let me do that thing here before this div. Let me put it before this div. Let me say something like let me call body elements. Let me use the body element select and then give it a color of let me say background. Give the background color of which color will I use that way? Let me select colors and see the one that will give me what I want. This one does not really give me. How about brown? This brown and red here, it might interfere a bit. Let's see. How about the brown and the red is not a good thing. How about think about color. That's color that I really need to use here. About silver. What will silver look like? Silver color. I think this one makes more sense. Yeah, this one makes more sense. Silver color gives me what I want. Not actually what I want, but at least it's better. You can see the space in between them. can see the space in the background. You can know, when you look at them, you know that this is a space in between them. Okay, having said that, okay, so what I will now do next is to use pseudo class to illustrate each of these elements. Whenever you hover over it, translate will manifest its property. This one, whenever I'm hover over, this one will show me its property. This one will show me this is my property. This one will show me its property. Okay, so to do that, I'll use a pseudo class with the class name of the divs that I created, which is this names here, class name. So I use 1 to 11 to I used 1 to in alphabets 1 2 3 4 to 11 to give each of them a unique class name. So let me come here and start calling them. So uh to call a class, all you have to do is the name of the class dot one. Then you can watch my video on how to what pseudo classes and pseudo elements is all. Just type pseudo classes, just search for pseudo class and pseudo element in my YouTube channel. You will see the video that I explain everything in detail. So put colon and say let me use hover, because hover will make more sense. I want, when I hover my mouse, it will just give me what I want. Okay, let me say hover, hover. Okay, then let me open a declaration block. Let me give it a parameter of the first one is translate. Okay, that translate, I'll give it a translate. First of all, the property is transform before the value, which is translate. Transform translate. Let me just say something pixel, 30 pixel. Then give command. Then let me say 20 pixel. Okay, this is the value I'm giving to this one. So what I will now do now, I don't want this thing to take much time. I will duplicate this thing into 11 places. Then I will now change the class name, then change the value, the transform value, and the parameters. It will make this thing more easy, because I can't be typing this thing one at 1111. It will take more time. So let me duplicate it. 1, okay, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, so it's now 11 now. So what I will now do inside this place now, inside this our class, okay, this one is set. Then the second one, I will change this one to 2. Change this one to 2. 2, the class name. Okay, now I will now change this translate to I will just add x here, and then I'll give it x. I will remove one parameter because it accepts only one parameter, which is this x. Let me give it. Let me say something like. Let me say maybe about 150. It's too much. Let me say 120. Okay, then here now we'll remove this, the second one, which is translate y. I will change. I'll add y here. Then I will now come to the class name and change it to 3. I'll change it to 3. Okay, now let me remove this command, then make this one let me make it let's say 90 pixels. Okay, then the next one is hover, which is the one that's not hover, rotate. Let me check our class name and see. 3 4, yeah, is rotates. Okay, let me widen this side. We've seen it as I'm giving it. See my HTML a little bit. Okay, the next one is the fourth one is rotate. Okay, so let me scroll down. Let me remove this. Okay, then let me scroll down. This next one is 4. This is 4. And this one now, what I will now do, I will give this one I will remove this rotate and replace it with this translate and replace it with rotate. Now this way, rotate. Then I will now give it a degree. Let me say something like, let me say 90 degree. 90 degree DEG. Okay, then the next thing I will do now, we'll be adding this next one. I think I forgot to put G here. Okay, in this next one, which is the fifth one, what do we have here is a scale. Okay, and then we said that scale, the scale, I think the scale, we talk about that it uses just only value, no extension like degree or pixel, just give it the scale value dialect. Okay, so in this place we now say, we now remove this rotate and replace it with scale, scale, scale. What am I typing? Oh gosh. Okay, I'll just remove this value and give it scale 2, which is double size. Then the next one we talked about is scale axis, which is scale x and y. So let me say, give it a scale, yeah, scale, scale. Then I'll now give this one, I want to give this one scale. This scale is scale, let's say scale x, because this next one, this is class name 5. Okay, this class name 5, which is this, here is 5, this is a scale. Okay, what did I did in this number 4? Number 4 supposed to be what? This number 4 is supposed to be rotate, and it will be in degree. This rotate, that's my mistake. I have to be looking at this my HTML here, so I will not put what I'm not supposed to put where it's supposed not to be. Then let me put back my degree, 90 degree. Okay, 90 degree. I think that was a mistake. Okay, now this one is a scale. Let me put 2 here, and then the number 5 is scale. Okay, the next one is let me scroll this down. The sixth one is scale x, which is here now. I will say scale x, scale x, scale x. Let me reduce this. Let me replace it with, let me just say scale 2.5. Okay, scale x 2.5 in 2.5 direction. Then this place now, let me call it scale. Say scale y. This is supposed to be in lowercase. Scale y. Okay. Then next now we'll do now just to, let me give it a 3 value, a value of 3. Then let me remember to also change the class name to, this one is 6, then it's lowercase, 6. Then this one is 7. This one is 7. This one is 7. Then the next thing I will be adding is this 7. Then what do we have in 8? 8 is q. 8 is q. Okay. Okay. Now let me change the class name to 8. Let's say 8. I think this is the spelling of 8 if I'm not mistaken. H before T. Okay. Okay. 8. Then let me move this. I think this q accept its parameter in what's it called, in degree as well. I think so. Yeah, that's what we talked about. I can remember now. So let me say I will remove this translate and replace it with q. It says q skew. Okay, inside the parameter I'll give it a 2 parameters, 2 values. Let's say, let me use 60 degree, 60 deg, comma. Then let me say let me just use which other degree is popular. Let me say 145.19. Let me see if I use, if about, let me say 135. It will be too much. Let me just use angle 90 degree. 90 degrees is more preferable. Okay, then the next one, yeah, I think this queue is done. So looking at my HTML, which class name do we have again? After 8 we have, in 9 we have skew x and skew y. Okay, so we'll do that by, let me do this so it will be easy for me. Just copy this, Control C, highlight this, then paste it, and then put what's it called, put x. Why did I not copy this thing well? Let me copy this one, and then let me do it again. Copy it, highlight it, and then copy it and then highlight this one, replace it, then change it to y-axis, then change this the class name to 9. No, it's not supposed to be in lowercase. Let's say 9. Then this one now will be in, so this is the class name of 10. Then this one is x and y is complete. Then let me give them a different values. Let me give this one 50 pixels, and then let me give this one, no, this is skew, it's supposed to be in degrees, sorry. Let me say 30 degree deg. Then this one, not dge but deg for degree. Now this one, now I will reduce this one to, let me say 60. Let me leave it at, let me give it let me say 75 degree, so it will be different from the other one, so all of them will be different. Okay, I think I'm done with skew. So the next one will be, let me wipe this. Oh no, the two skew is the same thing. I have added, change the class name 9, change the class name 10, then here the value of the transforms qx, then the next one is qy. So so the next one I'll be adding is matrix. Say matrix, this one will be matrix, then I'll change the class name to, this 11. Okay, so I think I'm almost done. Then as what we said as remember what we said in matrix, it accepts 6 parameters. So let me give it any random parameter 1, comma, let me give it -2, comma, let me just give it 1, comma, 4, comma, okay, let me just say something like 50, comma, then let me say something like let me say 53, just anything at all, but just make sure it's it have 6 parameters, so it receives 6 parameters here. Okay, at this point we are done with what I want to do. You can see that the reason why I go this far is to make it more, just to summarize what I have talked about so far. So whenever I take this my pointer, my mouse pointer to any of those boxes, it will manifest its property. You can see this one is manifesting translate. Let me open it in wider screen. You can see this one is manifesting translate. This one is manifesting translate x. This one is manifesting translate y. The reason why it does not move because it is in its axis. This is y axis. This is a y axis, so it does not move. You can see that. You can see its property is going down. You can see that is its property, it does not move. Okay, it's moving down in its axis. Okay, let's scroll down. Let me, you see you see the way it rotates, it's manifesting its property. Let's go down to scale. You can see scale, you can see the scale 2, it doubled its size. You can see scale x, scale y. Okay, let's go down. You can see skew, you can see the skew, what the skew is doing. You can see why is it doing this one. I really want it to act kind of somehow this thing, okay, the screen is not enough for it to manifest, to show it off. And I want that add there in the skew, in the first skew. It's disappearing. Let me change its value to, where is that skew again? I have to scroll down. Okay, here is the skew. I think its value is too much. Its value is too much. Let me give you something like uh, and I also did some mistake here. This one's supposed to accept only, this is not pix, this is degree, and it accepts only one parameter. Oh, all these things as well. Let me remove this x and y. X and y always accept one parameter. Okay, then this one now, let me reduce this one to, let me say something like 40 degree, and then this one to 20 degree. Let me see that, let me go to that skew again and see the effect. Let me see its effect again. Yeah, this is what I think. Let it manifest within the screen. Okay, so let's go back to let's widen our screen. So we are still at skew, so let's push, you see the skew manifests its property. How about skew x? This skew x, you can see the way it show what it is. Then how about this one? You can see it manifests skew y. How about matrix? You see the way matrix show its property. So I want to add duration, kind of because I said it in the first in the before I start doing this. I said I'll add duration, transition duration, so that it will not just be doing this way or kind of within seconds itself. I just want it to take some time, kind of in slow motion, and manifest sort of a animation as it's transforming to its new property, which we give to it through this pseudo classes. So let me just add it. So let me say translation, that is transition duration. Look at it here, transition duration to be in seconds. Let me give it 2 seconds is okay, so it will not about 3 seconds. Okay, let me make use of 3 seconds is too dull. Let me use 2.5 seconds. Okay, so let me widen the screen. Okay, so let me come and you can see the effect is how the effect is manifesting. You can see it's taking time to just manifest itself, very slow, no longer as within twinkle of an eye it have changed. So you can see it gradually. How about this X? You can see the way it moves. Okay, so and this is what translate means. Okay, then how about Y? Y goes down. That is that is what it does to an object. Okay, let's scroll down. So how about rotate? What does rotate does to an object? Let's find out. It rotates an object. Fine. Then what does scale does to an object? Let's scroll up. Where is scale? Let me scroll up. Scale. Let me still scroll up. Scale. What does scale does to an object? Let's find out. It doubles its size. It increases the size of the object based on the input value. Okay, what about x, scale x? It stretches it to -1 and -2, minus and plus line of x-axis. Okay, how about what does the y does? It stretches it towards minus and plus line of y-axis. Okay, let me still go down. How about skew? What does skew does? Okay, it does it in its own way. I don't know what to call that, but it does to object a skew. So this one does to object the same thing in it does an object a skew in x axis. Okay, how about y? Let's go down. How about skew y axis? So it does skew to an object in y axis. Then finally to our matrix. Can see the effect. Okay, so that's what this thing does. So this thing is very easy. You can easily do this, very simple and very straightforward. Okay, having said all these things, I think we have come to an end of the video with the few illustrations. The video is not supposed to take this long time, but I decided to make our time to explain this thing in detail so that at least it will be helpful. Okay, so it can be easily understood. That's why I go this far in making it this way. Okay, having said this, I think we are coming to the end. We have come to the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching. See you in the next one.